I don't know if that came through or not. I just cracked a can. Are we live?
Let's double check this.
Oh, I see
Why,
Night Owl.
yes, we are.
Buenos dias. Yes, we're back. Despite
Buenos retardness.
despite popular demand, we still keep coming back.
You can never get rid of us.
No, I'm like herpes. I'm in your walls.
God! Okay, well, this is how we're starting.
I don't know why I said herpes, but
Because it's Chris Mahana Kwanzaa.
oh, is that what it is?
You got gonosyphiherpal AIDS.
I got Gonzo.
That too. Anyways, hi there, everybody. All 29
Hello.
of you.
Yes, welcome. It is frigid as
Oh.
fuck outside for most of us, I'm sure.
Thanks for resubscribing, Mr. Toon JD.
Ah, much
Hey,
grace.
tired German.
Grace. I can't speak. God damn it. Oh.
Now, let's all be good little children and only give Night Owl a bit of work to do today.
Yeah. Let's not make him have to slap your pee-pee.
Yes, he's already had to slap mine, and it kind of hurt.
Well, you asked for it, so I don't know why you're bragging.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to draw something that's kind of in theme with the weather as of late, because I don't know about you, Storm, but it's fucking cold here.
It is a tid nipply.
Yeah. I think our highest today was like 15 degrees, which I'm not sure what that is for Europeans, but
What did you say Fahrenheit-wise?
I think it was 15 or so. This morning it was -1 out, so,
It's -9 Celsius.
you know, boy, sounds like a great time.
Since Celsius
Trying out
treats,
different brushes today.
yeah, Celsius treats freezing as 0.
Celsius is weird.
Yep.
That's why This is why we separated from Britain. We dumped their calculators in the Boston Harbor.
Also because we just couldn't live with calling Oreos cream-filled chocolate sandwich biscuits.
It's a bit of a mouthful, and branding is important.
Yes. Now, anyways, here's the hot poker, so bend over.
I'm concerned. I needed a double.
I mean, that is the kind of branding you were talking about, right?
No, I was talking about, like, in a name, branding.
It's true, we do use metric even though we pretend we don't.
Yeah. Well, I was like having a... Okay, so there was a bit of a train posting going on in the Ox today for people that aren't in there.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that... I posted one of my favorite locomotives, which is the Big Boy locomotive, and this one guy said it's overrated, and posted a very similar looking large steam engine called a Yellowstone, and... Oh shit, I'm on the wrong layer. Ah! But he was saying, you know, I don't know why it's not as well known as the Big Boy. And honestly, I think it does come up down a bit to naming, because Big Boy's a very evocative name for a train. So, definitely sticks better than, I think it was called a Yellowstone.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Night Owl shares with us. Actually, the US adoption of the metric system was delayed because pirates stole the sample reference units when the French sent them over.
Are you serious? That's fucking hilarious.
I mean, it sounds like something that would happen in our history.
Yeah. Pirates, man. What a fun bunch. Back in the
I am
day.
planning...
Hold on, I will be right back. I have to put my cat out.
Yes. In the distance, you all hear a shotgun cock, and we all become very sad. Also, hey, Grimos!
Alright, back. Sorry about that. It's just that if I don't put him out, he's going to try and climb on top of my computer, and he hits the reset button when he does that, usually, so...
Yes.
He's a very naughty cat. His name is Pudding.
Yay!
He's very bad, but he's also adorable, so... Sam
Wait.
Wacker's not here to groan.
Wait, what did I say, Night Owl? Was it the thing about the shotgun?
Shotgun? I got it for 2 seconds. What the hell did you do?
No, I made a crack of, like, I gotta go put the cat out, and I was like, we all hear a shotgun and become very sad.
No, God, no. I
Yes,
have
Storm,
needed
it
him,
was
though.
the shotgun thing.
I would never hurt Mr. Putters. Not intentionally. I've accidentally, like, closed a door on him once.
Yes. Ooh,
And stepped on
honey
him, but he
roast.
also gets underfoot like most cats.
No, I never endorsed the shooting of pets. At all, ever. My brain was just in it.
Unless it's like John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay, but that would still be hard.
Well, I'm just saying if you can figure out that your dog is actually a shape-shifting alien, you know? I'm not saying, like, preventative measure. If only those guys spoke Norwegian, they would be okay.
It appears there's discussion of honey glazing some meat.
Honey glaze. You know, I'm not really... I don't want to say
Or honey
I'm not
roast.
a fan of... Oh, honey roasting. I don't know how much I've had of that.
It does sound yummers.
I'm not the most cultured when it comes to cooking meats, so... And it's not necessarily because I don't want some really interesting meat, it's just more of like, I don't have the space or access to it. Like, I don't exactly have a grill at my place, for one.
You can get an electric one. They're like...
I do have a George
100
Foreman... I do have one of those. The only thing I don't like about it, though, is the fact that it is a mess to clean.
Well, yeah, that is going to be the case in most cases.
Yeah. I don't want to do this. You know what?
So, Squick was suggesting earlier that we would have a form of Fey money called cryptid currency.
I am here for it. I want to see Mothman on a bill. On a dollar bill. Mothman is definitely my favorite cryptid. I think I've mentioned that before on stream, actually, so... What's your favorite cryptid, Storm? I don't remember if you mentioned one or not.
Not that I'd ever want to meet it, obviously, but I am pretty partial to the Wendigo.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
That, or, I mean, if it counts, granted that we're talking about something way the fuck back when, I might also count a werewolf, but, like, that's not really a cryptid anymore, so much as a
Yeah, it's kind of
mythology.
transcended into, like, mythology and, like, a... Well, if it ever really wasn't in mythology, because, you know... I'd actually be curious to go through different texts.
Oh, werewolf.
Religious texts.
Oh, yeah, werewolf
see.
lore is, like, shit tons of it. The Wolves of Ausri, the Lycaon Games, Egil Saga,
Twilight.
the Benandanti, the Hound of Gavauden. Sorry, I do love me some werewolves, so I'm
Man, you
super
would
up
have
on
gotten
their
along
shit.
with my one college roommate.
Ramshackle Salvage, hello there.
Hello. Yeah, he was big into wolves as well. I mean, he was a furry, but he was like a chill furry. Like, you know, I think the most he really had was like fake fangs and a foxtail. But he was like one of the nicest dudes.
Oh yeah, again, you know, like most groups, 90% of them are nice people. You just don't want to go to their stuff without knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
The uninformed decision is the damning one.
It's like going to a punk concert. You never know what you're gonna get.
Like, it's one of those things where my friends are like I'm not into brony stuff, but like I'm curious. I'm like, okay, let me know because there's some stuff you want to avoid.
Yeah.
I will be the Virgil on this trip into the Inferno.
Yeah, you're gonna need to be, because otherwise they're gonna find certain images that are probably going to be very shocking to them.
Yes, like cupcakes.
Or something involving a jar.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
I'm
I'm not. I'm
I'm
not gonna.
I'm tempted to hire a hitman for that person. I won't, but I'm tempted.
I don't know, man. I don't want to get near someone like that.
That's why I said hitman. I wouldn't be doing it myself.
I just thought of like a mission in the game Hitman where you're like at a furry convention and you have to kill someone there. Which honestly, that would be a fun level to play. When you think about it, just like throwing fire extinguishers at dudes in like wolf suits.
Wait, is this the scene from the end of The Shining?
Yes, I was wondering when someone was gonna catch on.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, I was like, how can I illustrate how cold I know. One of my.
I'm not the one that mentioned the jar. That was Krispy.
I didn't go into detail. That's all I'm gonna say to defend myself.
No, but seriously, like I hate that thing because it wasn't even an actual brony that did it.
Oh, of course, it's never the actual people that are into something that do it. It's always the assholes, and unfortunately, they're in every group.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate byproduct of bronies having started on /B and 4chan.
Yeah, people that don't get the joke or take the joke too far. It's like there's a music podcast I listen to called No Dogs in Space. Honestly, you might like it, Storm. But I've been listening to a series they did on the Dead Kennedys, if you know that band, and their songs are obviously meant to be tongue in cheek or like funny. They're not meant to be
kill the poor.
Yeah, or California Uber Alles. But people took that shit like they were being serious about it.
Yeah,
so,
that's the problem.
Oh, did I not? I thought I saved
it.
What the
sorry, I need to capture a piece of information from Ramshackle Salvage, for I am morbidly curious. Ramshackle Salvage says, Night Owl, I got 3 bad news and 2 good about the curry. Bing, tell us, Ramshackle Salvage.
I would like to know more of this curry as well, because curry is delicious.
I love curry.
Yeah, I actually made some, because I never really like made it when I was younger or anything. Honestly, I make more stir fry than curry, but the times I do make curry, I love it.
There, Watcher of the Chaps. Yes, of course, bronies were mentioned, because I am present.
Yeah.
I am the Legion's token. I'm the Legion's token brony.
And I'm the Legion's creature that likes to draw Furbies a lot.
We belong together.
Yes. Except that I don't know if people most Furby art that I see is less fun and like bronies and more John Carpenter in tone.
Night Owl is very sad for the battery on his Steam deck just died.
Aw, man, rip.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. I've thought about getting a Steam Deck, but it's just like, first of all, my wife is usually using the TV because she likes her TV shows. And secondly, why bother when like I can walk like 5 feet and I'm at my computer?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get the appeal though.
Yeah. So speaking of werewolves, your crew last week when you were choosing all of the officers and stuff for your ship.
I kind of fell asleep there.
No, yeah. I'll catch you up on what the remaining choices were. But as your officers and crew were selected, the party ended up electing to go with the Stone Talon Mercenary Company as where you were going to get your majority combat team from for like ship security and added combat effect. This was as opposed to hiring either Vega Company or the Village Idiots.
I would have hired the Village Idiots because that sounds more fun.
But by hiring the Stone Talons, it means your crew now has super soldier werewolves as its defense force.
Man, they gotta think of a different name than if they're all super soldier werewolves. Because Stone Talons is...
What were you saying?
I was gonna say Stone Talons is more evocative of birds.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but that's just me nitpicking.
The Valkyrian culture uses totems of all different kinds of animals, even if they are werewolves.
I see.
The
I
Black
don't know.
Lions, the...
I don't know enough about your setting, so
You'll notice a pattern, though, with Fenrican mercenary companies like the Stone Talons, the Grim Fangs, uh, the Black Howlers.
yes, I remember being 14.
Yes, yes, very much. The
I
Black
think more.
Howlers are definitely in that vein of crawling in my skin. Sorry, I went too
Yeah.
high pitch and Discord cut me off.
It knew.
Yes.
I think it needs more icicles. You could definitely use a few more. Because, like,
Oh.
he's pretty frozen at the end of that movie. And okay, I'm just gonna say this about The Shining. There's parts of it that honestly make me laugh more than they probably should, but I'm weird like that. Like, I think Silence of the Lambs is more funny than anything.
Yeah.
But that part at the end where it's like him frozen in the ground, the fact that he's cross-eyed makes me laugh every time that I see it. It's like, I wonder if they thought about that when they did it, you know?
Yep. But it's pretty meme worthy.
It is. Well, yeah, you see it everywhere. I like when the South Park did like a thing of The Shining, but it was like a blockbuster, and then it's like Randy in the snow, and they're like, "Randy, do you want anything from McDonald's?" He's just frozen there, like chicken nuggets.
Yep. So yeah, the
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just shit posting.
Yeah, so what was determined by the end, they ended up finishing up the choice of crew officer positions, and essentially you guys have a neutral good crew with some occasional strong Wolverine vibes.
Look, as long as they're housebroken, I don't care.
Well, by Wolverine I mean, well, yeah, okay, most of them are housebroken. I mean all. Um
I just don't want someone pissing on my bed. That's all I'm saying.
unless you're paying them for. You know what? Moving on.
Oh God. I could. Well, if we're talking tabletop stuff, I could talk about something that we'll be releasing over in the Ox Unplugged podcast real soon, which is our playthrough of a Star Wars game that Haley and DM'd called Galaxy of Thieves. I'm not sure when it's coming out. He's been going through and editing a lot of the episodes, but I think it's going to be something people will enjoy if they want to give it a listen. I played a Mandalorian named Gar Ray, or as he was more better known, because that was the point, Gary. And he was I mean, you know the movie Falling Down?
Yes.
He was that character, essentially.
Okay.
Like we went to like a Credco, legally distinct from any other possible stores, and there was a droid that was trying to be a salesman and kept trying to sell him things, and I was very tempted to use a thermal detonator on it.
So, Ramshackle
Okay,
answered our question earlier about curry.
Hmm.
So, at Night Owl, bad news. Kelswan have the best curry recipe from what I can dig up. Good news. They left it behind when they vacated. Bad news. It's in Gunsburg. Good news. We don't have to piss off Kelswan. Bad news. The shuttle is using belongs to the Merc company that angered the Rosselhog first tier. And I'm pretty sure Old Man Tor Miraborg is still alive. Okay, so this is for a campaign that they're trying to find.
I was like
curry.
thinking like actual curry recipes. I was getting excited. It's like I need to take notes.
Yes.
Oh shit! I had an idea of something I wanted to draw. Oh, I remember what I wanted to draw. I came up with a superhero the other day called the Crowbar.
Nice.
Yeah, he's actually just a cat burglar that kind of like Mr. Magoo's his way into fighting crime. Because he's clumsy as fuck. But he still like burgles.
Yep. Oh yeah, and rather than hiring one or the other, you guys ended up going with the Big Mike and Whacker characters as the night and day shift for your comms officers.
Oh god, they're gonna be shock jock DJs, aren't they?
Them and Alejandro, the ship's weapons officer who has already declared himself the ship's DJ.
as long as they play good music. Like
Hola, mi amigos. Yeah. Hola, mi amigos. This is Alejandro Verde.
If people want to know some of the things that I listen to, I highly suggest looking up the band Grong Grong, spelled G-R-O-N-G, twice, because I'm into weird shit like that.
Mm-hmm. And I tend to be into your standard variety of European heavy metal.
Yeah, I'm more of a punk guy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily consider myself a punk, other than like the original ethos of it, which is basically doing things your own way and fuck people trying to tell you how to do things.
Yes.
I more use that in an artistic sense with what I do, but that's kind of what it originally the punk movement was. It was more of like an artistic counterculture kind of dealio where people were just getting weird with it. Like Iggy Pop, for instance, they had some weird stuff going on at the beginning there with him and the Stooges.
Hey there, McCade.
Hello.
Sorry, just reading. Yes.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm just rambling.
Yeah, which we do.
How dare you?
Oh, watch for the chaps. Yes, there's very much a standard use of Sabaton for my kind of music. However, based on the presence of people in the ship, because I actually do look into, like, I develop characters enough to know what kind of music they'll do, because that's just, I'm a musician. Based on who's on the ship, you're going to have a strong chance for flamenco.
What?
Your weapons officer on the bridge will always have his guitar on hand, and when he's not having to shoot at something, he will be playing.
I was hoping for something more prog, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, if you guys can set up the band room, but I doubt you want, a full stack of PVs in your bridge during crew hours.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I honestly don't know how to play my character yet. I'm not sure how I want to run her. I probably shouldn't run her like I did Gary, otherwise we're going to be getting into a lot of trouble. He did a lot of things in that campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
So explain the ethos of Crowbar Man.
I mean, he's a cat burglar. He just kind of like fumbles through solving crimes. He's like, oh yes, I caught these villains. Yeah. I'm gonna take my bag of crowbars here. I'm gonna make sure this safe is secure.
Yeah. Also, you dodged a bullet because they decided to go with Alejandro for the weapons officer rather than little Fricht.
I wonder what kind of music that guy's into.
Well, you just have to imagine whatever kind of music that a sentient 3-foot wide spider with a bunch of cybernetics would be into.
Yeah, probably Grong Grong.
Yes.
Those guys are from Australia. And they came up with their band name because they were driving around tripping on acid and saw a sign for a town named Grong Grong, and the lead singer wouldn't stop saying Grong Grong. Because he thought it was funny.
Grong Grong.
Yeah.
Sir, we can't fire our weapons. The amps are in our way.
Yeah. We just turned this game into fucking Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
It's like, I've hooked this controller up to the ship so we can shred while we shoot the enemy.
The thing that'll be funny is when Whacker finds out how the piloting on the ship works.
Oh god. Is it... I want to ask, but...
So, in the setting, vehicle interface is very frequently done through direct interface.
Is it like that South Park episode where Mr. Garrison designs the It, and...
No, thankfully no. But he, the idea is that when you hook into your mech or when you hook into a ship you're controlling, you essentially are being filtered through an AI that is not able to think on its own, but functions as essentially a third lobe for your brain.
Are you telling me that I have to use Clippy to drive a car?
It's not Clippy. It's way more advanced than that. It's like
I thought you were
having
I thought you were gonna say it's way more annoying than Clippy. I was like, oh no.
no, because you become one. It's not. You're not just listening to it. It's part of your brain.
My mind is one with the Volvo.
Your mind is one with Jarvis. And so
well,
as you're controlling
he stops by like McDonald's or something because I'm hungry.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, the pilot and the weapons officer both do this, which means their minds drift together during combat. Which means Whacker's character and Alejandro are both going to be acting as one being while combat is engaged.
Now, question: if I go up to one of them and put headphones on, just playing Barbie Girl on repeat, is that going to affect their link, or is it just going to be annoying?
I mean, yes. Also, Night Owl asks, "Why is Whacker always the pilot? Whacker like go fast."
I mean, he can drive. It's the landing that's the problem.
They
I think he drove this. Because I think he was in our Star Wars game, and he drove our patrol vehicle. We played a bunch of stormtroopers, and it was cops.
Yeah, it's why there's like a 2 out of 3 chance that I end up playing either the medic or a science officer. And the other 1 out of 3 chances I play, mandatory, I will smash you into pieces barbarian.
I seem to have a trend of like trying to make reasonable characters, and then they just end up as like, I'm going to set everything on fire.
Tired German says, Jay-Wit has sent you a package, and it should be at your place tomorrow. Evil face.
Wait, what? Oh, no. What did Jay-Wit send me? I'm concerned now.
Yes.
Considering some of the things he sent me, like Mario Erotica.
Shamrackle tells us the crowbar looks too much like a candy cane. Make it more curvy and hooked.
Yeah, hold on. I'm actually gonna... I don't usually like to pull up reference images in stream, just in case, but I think I can look up... Yeah. No, I can...
Yeah.
Hold on. One moment. This is also...
It's Mormon time!
This is also another reason I don't like to pull up references in stream, because I gotta go look for them, usually.
Yes. Well, Whacker's character, Justinian, is not as old as Whacker is, so his character doesn't need a co-pilot, but he does have one because it's considered good form for a ship to have all sections covered double over in case of night shift.
My co-pilot is Jesus!
Oh my god. The worst part is, there may be some members of your ship that would talk like that.
It's gonna be... Oh god. We have Carol Channing on our ship.
Lol. No, the junior helmsman is a battlefield journalist who had to learn to be a pilot because, well, she was behind the lines doing some battlefield journalism and things went really wrong.
That'll happen. Internships, man, they're rough.
It just occurred to me that the assistant helmsman and the weapons officer are a journalist and a DJ. This could go poorly.
Oh god, what have we done? Oh man, my stomach is making weird noises right now.
Watcher of the Trap says for the last time, his name is pronounced Jesus, not Jesus.
I'm trying to think of that one quote from from Die Hard with a Vengeance, I think it is, where it's like Samuel Jackson is like, my name is Zeus, like, throw a lightning bolt up your ass. I forget. It's a great quote. I just don't remember that movie well. People apparently don't like that as a Die Hard movie, but I think that one's great. Fun little fact, there's a scene in that is referenced in the movie The Incredibles.
Mm-hmm.
You know the scene where...
Sorry, finish your thing, and then I found the quote.
Oh. I was gonna say, you know the scene in The Incredibles where they kind of break into their bank and the cops got him at gunpoint. He's like, "I'm thirsty." It's like that's a reference to a scene in Die Hard, actually. Probably not an original take, but it's just a fun little thing nonetheless.
Yeah, no, that works. So the quote is, John yawns, Zeus, "Hey, I'm talking to you. Now you've got about 10 seconds before those guys see you. And when they do, they will kill you. You understand? You are about to have a very bad day. No, okay, no, that's not the quote.
No, that's the quote when he shows up wearing that sign, which, I mean, if you haven't seen
here we are.
Die Hard.
Yeah, Zeus, as in father of Apollo, Mount Olympus, don't fuck with me or I'll shove a lightning bolt up your ass.
That's the quote.
Zeus, you got a problem with that?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, God, that movie's great.
Yes. Yummers.
Not set at Christmas, though, but, you know.
Tortula boy. Be careful with that.
I'm scared.
He says, my co-pilot is 800 milligrams of caffeine in a bottle of Fireball.
Oh, boy! Better put on
Quick way to fuck up. I'm just thinking back to my old band where, because that was about the height of the whole play Freebird meme, so we had learned how to play Freebird, and, but we had learned about the first 10 seconds, and then we would intentionally have it suddenly turn into Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh my god, that's evil. That's wonderful. I need to draw the legs differently. Shit. Hold on. While I do like going off the cuff and just kind of eyeballing it, sometimes I do want to sketch out stuff for these. Because I don't know if people know this, I kind of try to be more like improv, spur of the moment when I draw a lot of stuff on the stream here. But my actual drawings are much more elaborate.
Yeah, I've seen like that one you did of the Centaurian, which was really
that one is actually one of my favorites that I've drawn.
Yes.
I actually need to get prints of it made. Not even necessarily just so I can sell them, but also just so I can have one in my portfolio because I want a physical print because it's a really fun picture.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a fun one I'm working on right now for Opaker over in the Ox, which is Space Station 13 themed. That I'm hoping to finish probably tomorrow. I don't know. I like to put pressure on myself because, you know, OCD brain. But it's a fun little one. Alright, I forgot to mention, he had a bag of like 50 crowbars. Sometimes he throws them at people. It's like that scene in Dodgeball.
Although, yeah, I do understand it, Cartula Boy. I'm just gonna say my senior thesis wouldn't have gotten written without the, like, 4 bottles of whiskey I went through in 2 days.
Yeah, I get that.
There are things that we're willing to do when we're in our late 20s that in our 30s we're just like, oh god, why?
Yeah, certain things definitely helped me through senior year. For one, I actually drank a lot of Red Bull, which I'm trying not to drink energy drinks anymore, stick to coffee, but, you know, when you're grinding to finish your portfolio and your senior project at the same time, and spending basically all day in the labs.
Yep. As Castus puts, all bills we put on our body eventually come due.
Yeah, sad but true.
Sad but true! Sorry,
Oh my
I had
God.
a Metallica moment, but I'm over it now.
I'm not gonna lie, I was also thinking of that song.
We share a brain cell.
This community does that, man. It's like me and Haley and share a fucking brain cell.
Yep. For me, it appears to be Red Fog, Hammer, and Paladin that I seem to share that brain cell with.
Oh, I can see that.
It's probably the byproduct of us playing too much Helldivers together.
That has been fun, playing Helldivers.
Yes.
And I need to play more Helldivers.
I love a good old heck dip.
Me too.
Nothing relaxes you quite like just killing your enemies and
I think I'm
shouting
like
the name.
One of the only few people that I know of anyway that wears heavy armor when I play, because I wear the Dreadnought suit. The other one is Striker, because That's one we both like. Because that throw
I'll
distance, man, that helps so much.
I used to do heavy armor only, and then as I got more used to the game, I started veering more towards light armor. I still do heavy armor during, like, defense missions.
Ah, shit. Yeah, defense missions, that makes sense. I mean, it does make you slower, but I like using the Dreadnought a lot because of that throw range. That helps a lot with calling in stuff.
Well, the Dreadnought's one I still use pretty often because that's only medium armor.
No, the Dreadnought's heavy armor. I'm pretty sure.
I'm thinking of the Juggernaut. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I've confused them before myself. So, but no, I'm talking it's the one that has all the grenades on it.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of the one that's like kind of looks like a black ghillie suit, but it's like armor plated.
Kind of. I'd have to see it. I forget exactly what that. There's so many armors and Helldivers, man. So much shit.
And I do so love it.
It is a very fun game to play with friends when you get the right team. Or then you get the curse team and you start shooting each other. That definitely had that as well.
That is sort of the beauty of the game. Apparently, you can't report other players for team killing, though.
I mean, that kind of makes sense because how often it happens accidentally. Mm-hmm. I mean, shit, man, I've been cut down by friendly autocannons more often than I like.
We have an on-running joke of, has Storm Song just been killed by Hammer? Well, it is a day that ends in a Y. Hammer doesn't aim carefully. No,
neither do I. I'll throw a stratagem, and I'm like, you guys better run. That's coming close. Yep. I've also walked into gas more than a few times.
Yep.
I wonder where Andy and Whacker are.
Yeah, here, let me double check on him. You keep at it.
Oh, no, you're fine. Oh, maybe I'll check chat while I'm at it, because I don't generally look at chat, but that's more just because I'm busy, as you can imagine.
Yeah, well, and that's why I try to keep an eye on chat for you. Also...
thank you for the subscription, Teletanker.
Yes, Whacker is
whacking. Yes, he is.
He needs to stop whacking it. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it's Diggs. Hi, Diggs. Happy birthday.
Murdag.
Everyone say hi and happy birthday to Dig Dug.
He has a lot of birthdays, man. He's like 1 million years old now.
Yeah, soon he'll be almost as old as Whacker.
He is Berthuzela. I'll be here all week.
Why not? Oh.
I was hoping for more laughs at that, but... Can't always be winners. Oh, God, I'm having a hard time drawing his foot right now. I haven't drawn feet enough, which... Oh, God. Whoa!
Hello?
Is that Whacker? Oh, hi, Andy.
We have been andified. It's Andy Van, here to gentrify the stream.
I have a cat.
I had a cat, but I had to put him out of the room because he was going to hop on top of my tower, and usually he hits the reboot button when he does that.
No!
Which would have been bad for stream.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot today was Tuesday, because, like, I went to work, and then, like, after a little bit, they said, okay, we're closing down because, you know, it's snowing. And I'm like, oh, shit. Snow day!
Hell yeah,
well,
man.
you are from a place that is quite wet and usually pretty hot.
And doesn't often deal with snow, so they probably panic a lot.
I personally haven't seen like live snow since I was like 12 or 13. So
Hey,
And
Quinless.
it's still going too. Like it's not just like
Really?
a drizzle. Like it's actually piled up out there. Like I could probably actually go out there and build a snowman.
You
Night Owl
probably
says,
could.
Crispy. Yeah, Night Owl says, Crispy, what you talking about? That would improve things.
What would improve things?
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah.
I don't wish I could set up a camera and do that. To like do it like that too. It's like, hey, you want to build a snowman?
I just had the thought of like you saying that, you gesture and there's a snowman there, and then you just drop kick it and the video ends.
Yep. Oh, Andy. So you're in an article I'm writing.
Oh my god. You didn't tell him about that?
Not yet.
The, like Andy screaming service.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you were there when I read part of that.
I was gonna say, wasn't he there last night when you were reading it?
Yeah, no, well, not last night, but yesterday afternoon or something. But yeah,
Yeah, it was-
so I'm almost
it was
done writing that
night.
article, and once I'm done writing it, I'll be passing it to Will.
I'm curious to see what he thinks about that one, considering some of the subject matter.
Well, I mean,
It got
He's
very
in it.
cursed.
not cursed in like a gross way, audience. I channeled some inner Lovecraft.
Is that
That's
guy
what you want to
stealing
call it.
candy canes?
Sorry, what'd you say, Andy?
I said, is that guy stealing candy canes?
No, his name is the Crowbar.
Oh, those are crowbars.
Yeah, I'm still working on him. I just kind of drew like candy cane shaped things. Crowbars are
Like
oddly
Half-Life a little too
weird to
much.
draw. Yeah. Yeah, this guy's basically a cat burglar who's just like stumbles into solving crimes or fighting crime. And then he just like loots people's shit when they're not looking.
I mean, you could have gone with the old joke and just had a bunch of cats in his bag.
Yeah, but he throws the crowbars at people.
Because he's a cat burglar. Lol.
Okay. Right, you know when you have a dream that's weird, but it's not weird in like a what the fuck sort of way, it's just like, why? I had one of those last night.
Well, I don't really remember my dreams too well.
Yeah,
but
I
also-
only remember like 1 in 20. But no, it was and it was because we had talked about, we always plan our dinners for the week, like the week before, because Dad and I each take turns cooking and so forth. And we had talked about having pancakes or waffles for dinner one night, and for some reason that night, I just had this dream of walking outside to see my dad decorating all of the trees with pancakes.
Sounds like a dream my wife would have. She has some weird dreams.
Yeah. So it's like a hungry dream, but not like a what the fuck dream. But it's mostly just also because my dad is such a completely, like, logical person that I just couldn't imagine him doing that, even as, like, a joke.
Maybe your dad got slipped some acid or something.
Oh god, if he ever got slipped acid, he would probably start talking about, like, microeconomics as a spiritual event.
Honestly, probably would.
You remember the, what did I call it? The Studio Ghibli dream I had?
I think you had mentioned it, but I can't recall the details.
I can't either.
It was like everything was in gray tone, but like the guy would start seeing things in explosions of like red and blues, and then they killed him for it.
Huh.
But it's about Krispy, clearly. There's a metatextual narrative about the discovery of color and the beauty of art, and how men can be destroyed by it.
Yes.
I mean, potentially.
That sounds about right.
Why does the burglar have a Urban Mech cockpit around his groin?
That's a belt, Andy.
Why are little people looking out, Crispy? Little windows. Why are there little people in the windows?
It was made for me.
It was like that one UFO encounter. It's like, I can see the people in the windows. They're looking at me.
You think the Statue of Liberty would be, like, praised as much if the viewing thing was not in the top of the crown, but it was, like, the crotch?
I mean, that kind of goes without saying, I imagine.
It certainly would make things weirder going there.
I mean, we're close to the shore, so I guess it's not weird it smells like fish here.
Oh my god!
Oh god, Andrew! Like, I know I'm no one to talk, but watch your mouth!
Oh, we're all
What's
going
the
to
matter,
hell.
Bob? You don't like clam chowder?
Stop it!
Oh my god. The clam! Okay, moving on.
Dear god. Someone play copyrighted music so the stream can end.
Tortula Boy says, there's one dream I saw last week, like a week ago, that I still remember. The gist was that Thailand, of all places, has introduced vending machines that are slot machines. When you pull for food, that is in totally equivalent price to what you put in. So like $3 you'd get $2 drink and a $1 cheap as fuck gum that you'd get at a gas station. And there was an entire Twitch category for people trying to pull for their lunch. It was an interesting dream for sure.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
So what if I put a baby in one? What does that get me?
Dignity?
I don't know about that. I think it gets me arrested.
Ramshackle Salvage says, whoa now, how much to get a viewing pod near the Statue of Liberty's giant copper lady thighs?
Oh my god.
I wasn't expecting that ending. You had me in the first half.
Step on me, mommy. No.
Oh, no!
Don't let the local meth heads know the Statue of Liberty is made of copper.
They'll strip it to sell. Oh my god.
Well, they like
Just
pick
like
it, they like
in the
pick it up.
It's like it's like ants picking up a dead creature to bring back to the nest.
So, so my rabbi is starting a new campaign here soon because, again, as I've stated before, I play D&D with my rabbi.
Does he use a fighter that knows jujitsu?
He's done that once before.
Oh man, I thought I was being original.
It's too late. We've made all the jokes. I mean,
Damn
we
it.
write all the jokes too. So,
That's true.
no. So, during the planning phase, he's decided he wants to run a Fallout game, and he told us, we could be a Vault Dweller, we could be a Wastelander, just go crazy, but keep it within Fallout. And everyone's made their characters, and the game's not starting for another few weeks. But he revealed to me something he hasn't revealed to the other players yet, which is everyone but me chose to play a Vault Dweller.
Oh my god, that's gonna be interesting.
I'm playing the one Wastelander, so I'm the Strider of the party.
You are chaperoning a school field trip.
I thought you were going to play like an Among Us thing or something like that. Like,
Bogus.
Yeah,
One of these people will kill you and loot your stuff. Which one?
This is your left. That's your left. This is your right. You're gonna die.
actually, funny thing, one of the Vault Dwellers comes from a vault which society is based all around thievery. So,
This is true.
Hey, at least it's not a society based around dabbing.
Too late.
Oh god. That would be a horrible vault to be a part of. I'd be like, let me out. I'd rather get killed by the nukes.
you find the vault where you go into the church, and it's the symbol of Skibbity Riz.
That's kind of what I mean. I'd just be like, we're blowing up this vault.
Oh, what was that one the other day? A Gen Z Amish kid named Skibadiah.
Okay, I think I now have an idea for a character to use in tabletop now.
You got a good harvest of dank memes today, Jebediah.
I don't know if the Amish really dab. I haven't seen them do it in person, but it's
I
possible.
think when they do it, it means something different.
Yeah, I think it's like they're a witch.
No. Imagine like draw a picture of an Amish person dabbing, and then you put the pitchfork in their hands, and he's throwing hay.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get Weird Al with it.
Oh wow.
Been spending most of life.
Indeed.
You know, it's a real shame that I don't have more food stocked in the house.
Oh, that's right, because snow. That's going to make getting more food difficult for you, isn't it?
Because, like, I eat, like, 99% of my meals outside of the house.
So I'm
I was
looking at
actually,
it.
It
I
sounds
was
to me
actually
like
considering getting rid of the refrigerator to save, like, $20 a month.
I honestly, it sounds like it might be a bad idea to start getting into like meal prep. I'm not saying like make elaborate meals, but just make stuff that you can put in the freezer, and if you know, in a situation like this, you can just pop it out and heat it up.
The problem is I'm so undisciplined and so silly in the head that I kind of forget sometimes, and I end up sitting in there for like months or years.
No, I know that feeling. Look where
Oh
we
my
are.
gosh, I wasted all that food.
Yep.
I need a robot wife like that one anime. Oh.
Just a public safety reminder to not fist androids. Be careful of moving parts.
Oh my god.
It's got that hand signal. It's got that sign that's got like the gear and the broken fingers. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
and
about?
then it's that gif from Treasure Planet where he's like, you give up some things chasing the dream, and he's looking at his mechanical hand. Oh, you know what?
Okay. So
Need to-
yeah,
need to-
so 68 and 69 are yes.
Nice.
The vaults with 1,000 people. In 68, only one is a woman, and in 69, only one is a man.
It sounds good in theory.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I kind of hate what they've done with Vault-Tec in terms of Fallout?
I could get that, like, because it was sort of implied in 1 and 2. They sort of leaned into it in 3 and New Vegas, and then in 4 they just started spamming it, like, just how fucked up the
I
vaults
was
were.
more thinking of the TV show and how they kind of handled Vault-Tec, which honestly, if we're gonna get into the TV show, I've got some thoughts on that probably would just be me ranting. So,
You know, so you know how like in book series they're like when they go on for a while, there's like a part where people like say, "Yeah, I don't read past this part because it gets weird," you know?
yes, I've
Yeah.
read Dune.
So like, well, it's not just Dude, it's like others. And I'm starting to think like it's
No, I
starting to
know.
get to be like TV series and shit like that. It's like or a lot of modern day stuff. It's like, yeah, I stopped playing World of Warcraft after Cataclysm because it started getting weird after that. So it's like it's getting to the point where like people accept like something of an IP up to a point, and they're like, yeah, after that it just yeah.
Now, I will
Yeah.
say, I think it's a little different with books back when they did that versus modern shows, because books are usually 1 or 2 authors working on the project.
Well,
Whereas-
I stopped watching The Simpsons after season 82. All right.
Yeah,
Dear
well, yeah,
God, there were
yeah,
that
nah.
many seasons.
But yeah, I think once something is being written by multiple parties, it becomes
yeah.
harder to keep it cohesive.
Well, I'm just gonna say this in terms of most stories out there, there needs to be a fucking endpoint. That's my thought. There needs to be a point where you just are just done with it. And I'm not saying
the
that to
tale's
discredit. Yeah, it like because you can only go so far with it. I mean, as
Yeah, but-
we're talking about here, you know.
But
Yeah.
the mortgage, Crispy, you got that mortgage that you didn't think out.
See, you say that, but most of the time when I see a series being dragged out way longer than it needs to be, it's not a random dude doing it. It's a corporate studio that's doing it.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's because they like have pipes and shit attached to you, and you're no longer like a person. You're like a living, like computer and shit. And they have
Yeah,
you
it's like that
attached to a
one
wall.
scene in the Pearl Jam Evolution video.
Okay, yeah. Per Night Owl here. Yeah, let's
Yeah, Yeah,
After
this
the
could get...
68, 69 thing, we couldn't... Well, no. What you're talking about is fine. Chat was going a bit past the 68, 69 thing into, like, harem discussion.
Oh, God, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
No horny in chat. I'll get the
Crispy,
hose.
would you want to be an artistic servitor?
No, because that's essentially just turning me into an AI art machine.
Yeah, but you're the A in your AI isn't artificial. It's just autistic.
If I am still in control of my faculties, then maybe. If I am not, no.
Yeah. I would say
If I am still me,
I would say you'd be in more pain, but then you're an artist, so like, you're always at maximum, so it kind of doesn't matter. Maybe, to be honest, they actually like attach to a morphine machine, so like it's better for you.
I suppose. Also, to that point, I'm gonna take a line here from David Lynch, R.I.P., and say, artists shouldn't have to suffer. You don't need to suffer to make good art. I get that that's a trope with art, but I think that's bullshit. I think you should just be able to make art just because you like making art.
Yeah.
Like Van Gogh was happiest when he was making art.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people misunderstand the statement of suffering for your art.
I mean, you definitely have to put in the work. I'll say that much.
Well, it's not just that. It's that a lot of times art only comes alive if the person making it has had some kind of experience to justify whatever sentiment they're putting forward.
I suppose so. I mean, if you want it to be like a genuine thing, you know?
Like, it's that whole write what you know thing.
Who says...
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily have to be like personal experiences. It can also be things like how you observe the world and just what you think of things, you know?
Oh yeah. So first I'll let Andy ask the question he was just asking.
Oh, I was just going to say, who said it's you that has to be the one to suffer for your art? Why not make the viewers suffer for it?
I mean, agree.
I thought that's why I'm streaming right now.
There's that part where all three of us slowly like turn our heads and look out at the audience.
Yeah. Speaking of suffering in art, where's Whacker? He needs to be here for this.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah.
Artist suffering.
So for example, I'm writing a story right now about a mercenary. Now, obviously, I have not lived in the world of mercenaries. I don't live in a medieval world. I'm pretty well studied on it, but I've never lived those lives. What I have lived...
Blackwater, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. What I have lived is personal trauma. What I have lived is loss, and these are things that I can write into that character.
Oh, 100%, you know.
Yeah, so, like... Yeah, you make the character human in the ways you know how.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So when I say your personal experience being brought into art, I'm not talking like, oh, you've never been to Japan, don't write something about Japan. It's like, no.
Oh, no, that's not what I mean at all.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. What I'm saying in terms of artist suffering, I'm saying like, you don't have to go through a hardship and trauma to not feel something from, or put feeling and emotion into art. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, there are artists that suffer and go through horrible things. You know, I'm not saying there aren't, but I don't think that means they're. How do I want to word this?
It doesn't mean they actually have to actively suffer.
Yeah, like I was saying, like again to go back to David Lynch. I'm sorry, I was very sad when he passed. But
I understood.
Yeah, no, he meant a lot to my wife and I, but. This interview which I've saved, you know, clips of. I want to find the full thing. I also want to read his book, but that's a whole other conversation. But essentially, what he was saying is, like Van Gogh, for instance. People were like, oh, he got so much out of his art as suffering. I was like, he was happiest when he was making his art.
Mm-hmm. I think also there's something to be said for. In Western culture, well, not just Western culture, but like I'm just going to use what we come from. There is a romanticization of knighthood, or like the death of Christ, or stuff like that, where we kind of associate suffering with meaning. And there is a certain degree of truth to that, but a lot of people don't understand that, like, that should not rest as a justification to cause suffering.
That's what I mean. You know, yes, there are artists
Yeah.
that have channeled, you know, the things they've been through into making good art, and you know, I'm fine. I totally don't mind that. I've put stuff that I've been through into things I'm working on or want to do, or have made, but you know, it shouldn't be a requirement to make art, is what I'm saying. You know.
Yeah.
Art to me is a lot about the personal experience and just like your personal feelings or emotions or just how you see the world, you know. And granted, a lot of the stuff I draw isn't like super deep meaning, you know. A lot of the stuff I draw is like sci-fi characters and stuff, but a lot of that stuff I do is because I enjoy it, because it's fun to draw, and you know, part of it too is just the dream of sci-fi where, you know, we all look towards a better future. You know, I know the past few years for people have been, I would say that the internet's been rather cynical in the past few years for various different reasons that we don't need to get into. But, you know, that doesn't mean we shouldn't still look, you know, try to make a better world for ourselves or have optimism for the future. You know, I hate this doomer mindset that people have gotten into, because it doesn't do anything to change the situation. It's just accepting it and just wallowing in it. And, you know, I've had sad days.
Yeah, Cartula Boy says, if suffering equals meaning, then Eastern Europe is the most meaningful place in the world.
Oh my god, they should have, like, Rembrandt shit everywhere.
Yeah.
What if they do and they just see it so common that they don't tell anybody about it? You like go over there, it's like, holy shit, it's beautiful over there. They're like, we see that over here. Would you like some brewski? We're going to go squat over here. You go join
Why does he sound Irish?
For some reason,
fight in the pub. You like to raise your fist?
so for some reason, I'm just imagining Drone Strike and Tim somewhere just screaming, and they don't know why.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to draw a portrait of David Lynch because, I mean, R.I.P.
Ooh, can you draw mind fishes going around them?
And the guy saw the world in a very different way, and you really can see that with the stuff that he made.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, it was like, oh man, there was so much behind it, too. It's just...
Night Owl says, Crispy, that wasn't remotely Irish.
I'm sorry, I don't know accents too well. You should hear my wife's accents. They're atrocious.
I will be right back. Discord's giving me some guff.
That sounds like Discord. This episode brought to you by Discord. Discord, we fuck up constantly, but it's definitely not our fault.
Yeah, no, I'm back.
I'm
Both of you were...
Discord too. It snitched on me.
Yep. I had to jump out because both of you were sounding super fucking robotic, and I'm like, well, if it's both of you, then it's me.
I am a modern man.
Yep.
He's starting to figure out what we are, Crispy.
So, oh my god. So for those in chat who aren't aware, David Lynch, a famous director and writer in Hollywood cinema, and like the old school Hollywood cinema where it actually gave a matter, has died recently. He was the fella who did the first finished Hollywood production of Dune, not Doom.
Yes.
He did Lost Highway. Yeah. He did Lost
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin Peaks, Lost Highway, Eraserhead. Yeah, so very cerebral and kind of surrealistic.
You know. And I'm not trying to say that I was a David Lynch diehard or anything like that, because I'm not. I only got into him a couple years ago due to my wife, but we both really enjoyed his stuff and just how weird it was and just how weird and fun he was. And, you know, when he died, I legitimately teared up a bit because he meant a lot to both of us. Like, my wife actually walked down the aisle to the Twin Peaks thing. Like...
Yep. And, and like a lot of people don't realize just what influences things have had. Like, Twin Peaks was a major inspiration for both, X-Files and later, what was it called? Supernatural. The soundtrack for Twin Peaks actually had an influence on the soundtracks for, like, 3 of the Final Fantasy games, because during the productions of 6, 7, and 8, they were watching that over in Japan.
Also, if you've played Deadly Premonition, that's basically Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Castus tells us that apparently Lynch also worked on several Twilight Zone episodes.
Oh man, that's great. He definitely would be good for that. I've seen a couple of clips of just like him talking about, you know, making stuff, and honestly, it's ones I've saved because it's a really good message behind it, you know. I mean, there was obviously the one I was talking about earlier with The Art of Suffering, but also, you know, his thoughts on like making stuff. It's just, you know, just keep doing it, just keep plugging away at it. You know, you got to actually put the work in and do things, but you know, if you do it little by little, you'll get places with it. And you know, obviously, it's not going to be every day you feel like making stuff, but you know, as long as you have that drive to the passion for what you do, you know, that'll get you places. And I honestly can say, like, I'm a testament to that because, you know, I've drawn since I was a kid. I've loved drawing. I love art. And there's a lot of times in my life where I was very self-conscious of what I did, that I didn't think I was very good, because I would look at these other artists that I looked up to, and I look at my work, and I'm like, this looks like shit compared to them, you know?
Everything looks like shit when you're new at it.
Yeah. But, you know, honestly, I don't mean to sound, you know, cliche or hyperbole when I say this, but being a part of this whole community changed my life in that regard, because it...
Oh, yeah.
I just saw how much people appreciated what I did, and it just really encouraged me to keep going with it and just keep making things. And you know, I started doing commissions for people, and now I do this, and I have stuff on YouTube now. I've done like stream thumbnails and things, or art.
Yeah.
It's just to see where I've gone with it. It's just been, you know, it's been an interesting journey, and I'm thankful that I'm at a spot in life now where I can do this in a way that I feel, you know, satisfaction out of. I'm sorry if I'm getting really like hammy and emotional right now. It's just like
well, yeah, like for me,
being able to do shit like this means more than I can ever put into words. So
oh yeah. So for me, the two artists that really like got me started on drawing, like made me want to draw, were Yusuke Nakano and Akira Toriyama. So like when Toriyama died, like,
oh man, yeah, I can see that.
You know, that hit me pretty bad. Like when Dio died.
I'm gonna be sad when Bruce Timm dies. He's another big one of mine. For people that don't know who Bruce Timm is, he was the guy that did the Batman DCAU.
Yeah. And yeah, that's just one of those things where it's like, I learned to draw by trying to mimic Dragon Ball Z as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Or by trying to...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, or trying to mimic Ocarina of Time. Like, when Dio died about 15 years ago, it kind of shocked all of us in the heavy metal community, because it was like, we honestly thought others would go first. He was a bit of a health freak, but liver cancer does what it do.
Yeah, man. The day Chris Cornell died, that was another one that really shocked and saddened me. Because I listened to a lot of like Audio Slave and Soundgarden growing up, and I really like his voice. He was like one of my favorite singers, and then, you know, when I learned that he passed, that was pretty devastating, you know. And
yeah,
public service announcement: don't be afraid to talk about your problems with people that you trust, or like don't be afraid to like go to therapy. Like, just don't.
Yeah.
It helps more than you realize.
My therapy is the battlefield.
Oh, thank you.
Andy just punching mannequins at the boss cops.
Yeah.
Mannequins.
So I'm going to take one last shot at this particular subject and then say we should probably move on for the sake of our feels. But
yeah, no, I'm tearing up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. This is getting really personal for me.
If you just need to feel better right now, go and watch Dead Poet Society.
Dude, I don't know about that one. That one gets pretty heavy at points. Like,
Well, I'm joking about that was another big person who, like, when he died, everyone felt it.
Yeah.
Robin
At least you didn't
Williams
say
was
a Serbian film.
Oh God, no. Robin Williams was
Don't
a
watch
saint.
Oh my god, yeah. He was another big one.
I really liked what was the other one he did? Well, he did a bunch of them, but What Dreams May Come.
Sorry, I had to open a window. It's actually kind of warm in here, which is surprising considering it's like barely the teens out.
Yeah. Ether
Man,
the Booze Wizard says, "Bro, let it out. Let us grieve together. That has power."
I mean, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's why I'm drawing David Lynch right now. God, he had some sick hair. I hope I have hair like that when I'm 78.
Yeah, and you could too. You have that kind of hair.
I do have this kind of hair. Mine's a bit more curly than his, but I could definitely get hair that looks like that.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like Halzakar and Quinless know what I'm talking about. Have you seen What Dreams May Come, Crispy?
I have not.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, box of tissues and, like, comfort food, and then be ready to watch one of Robin Williams' trippiest movies.
Oh my god. I mean, I've seen some very interesting movies at times, like the movie Kids. That's one that a friend of mine showed me, and it's a pretty fucked up movie at points. It's basically following a bunch of these kids in New York, and like the main character is a guy that has AIDS and he doesn't know it, and a bunch of fucked up shit happens in that movie, but it was just like a very interesting movie to see, you know?
Yeah.
But it's definitely one of those movies like you only need to watch it once, really. Like, I feel like I don't need to see Requiem for a Dream again. That movie was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Requiem for a Dream is valuable, but A, don't show it to someone under 17. B, you only need to see it once.
Do not show that to people under 17.
Yeah, Howells brings up the other heavy side of that movie, which is What Dreams May Come. Not one to watch while you have kids around the place. Because kids.
Oh, it's one of those kinds of movies.
Like, it's not dirty, it's just that it's... You know when a film is mature... A film is mature, and not because it's tawdry, but because it actually gets into, like, shit that adults deal with.
Yeah, like heavy shit, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Hey, Crispy.
Yes.
Every day you should do a morning weather report.
Like David Lynch? Oh man, I would love to do that. The thing is, the sun's usually not up by the time I'm up at it. Well, at least in the winter time it's not. But I'll definitely sit there with sunglasses on, just being like, oh fuck, what day is it? Alright. We got this bullshit.
What are you saying by giving Lynch, like, lizard eyes?
Oh no, that's just... I'm not saying anything, I just didn't draw the eyes yet. I just put placeholders.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
not everything I
okay.
draw has symbolism, Andy. Some things do, but...
Oh my god. I was watching this... You first, Andy.
No, mine is going to lead into, like, a deep conversation. Make yours first.
Oh, okay. I was watching this video the other day somebody did that was... It starts out as, you know, have I ever told you the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No,
but it starts with that. But Anakin, it turns out, has heard the story and got his doctorate in it and starts going into the metatextual narrative.
He will actually Palpatine.
He will actually Palpatine, and it hurt me personally because I hang out with those people at college.
Oh yeah, that's the place to run into those people. And you're just like, shut up! I don't want to fucking hear it!
Yeah, Castus understands what I was getting at
Probably
about
be like hanging out with Carl Sagan.
Yeah. Movies getting the mature rating because they're mature, not because they're super immature.
Yeah. Which honestly, I
Peggy,
feel like that's a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Kitty, what do you want? Stop pacing.
All right. So
See, this
Andy,
is why-
you had.
Yeah, this is why I put my cat out of the room.
Okay. Is there like a term for when an art piece starts evolving or maybe being taken a narrative beyond the artist?
I think that's called people don't understand the meaning of the piece. Or
Well, that
being
and then
pretentious.
there's that, but there is something to be said for sometimes an artist like just goes deep into the well of whatever imagery's in their head and aren't actively thinking about.
No, that's not
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean. What
that's
I mean
how I
is, like,
operate.
Mhm.
Like,
What do you-
remember how I was joking about like Crispy giving David Lynch like lizard eyes, and he's like, I'm not giving a deep meaning, but then imagine like a bunch of experts and YouTube personalities, people just start trying to dissect the piece, and then like,
Oh my god, if I had that
The
happen
overall-
to any of my art, I would
Well-
fuck with them so hard.
well, then like it's like the idea, the people start making up their own ideas of what the art means and all that, and it's like. It's
Mhm.
completely different from what the artist intended, but it's taking on a life that's out of his control or her control,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
why I like
well,
shit
okay,
like
and-
Dadaism.
yeah. Well, and it's one of those things where it's like I firmly believe in write down an artistic statement if you have a work you're going to publish. Because and it doesn't have to be in the work itself; it can be in the documentation you do for the work. But the thing is, so many people just don't. What's the word? So many people don't take time to even look at who the author was. Like it'd be one
Oh,
thing
yeah,
if you actually
absolutely.
looked at. It'd be one thing if you actually looked at who the author was and tried to infer their meaning by also watching the damn thing or reading it or whatever. But it's another entirely when people just get into these, well, I used the word earlier, metatextual narratives where they think that they're adding
Sometimes
meaning.
people think they're a lot more smart than they actually are.
Well, it goes more than that. It's more insidious than that. They are trying to put themselves on level with the artist by attributing a meaning to it that they think they have given it.
Oh, I know about that.
And the artist be damned. And those kind of people can suck a fat dick.
Yep.
Like, to borrow a Crispyism.
Do I say that often?
Like, imagine you drew a picture of a fish just because you're like, and you have goldfish, and you drew a picture of a fish. You're like, that's neat, and then you put it away, and then someone finds it, and they start losing their goddamn mind, and then they like start showing it to other people, and they start losing their goddamn mind, and like this whole like movement starts. That's like people are like, the fish is a representation of our drifting along, and it's just. It goes away, and you're just like, what the hell? It's a picture of a fish. Leave it alone.
I just wanted to draw a fish.
And
You know what I mean?
Cartula Boy says sometimes art has such a profound impact on someone's life, they start trying to read all the meaning out of it, up to making up their own. It is what it is. To which Ramshackle says, "There's a word for it. It's called philosophy."
Oh,
I will be right back.
God.
I'm getting a phone
If
call.
we get into a philosophy discussion on this, it's gonna be.
Uh-oh, I think I had a moment where I did a bunch of talking and it didn't go through.
I think so. What'd you say?
It was about the fish, where like, I said, imagine you draw a picture of a fish, and you're like, because you have goldfish or something, you're just, doodling, and you're like, that's nice, that's kind of neat, and you put it away. Later, someone finds it, and they just start losing their goddamn mind, and then like, he starts showing it around, and other people see it, and for some reason, they lose their mind, and it's like, everybody starts like getting these great deeper meanings from the picture of your fish that you just drew because you were kind of bored, and you're like, no, that's not, there's no meaning, it's a picture of a fish, and they're like, oh, you did hear it, okay.
Did we?
Well, Andy, Night Owl says, Andy, we heard your entire thing about the damn fish picture.
Oh no, yeah, no, we heard
And
that.
someone says, man repeats on live stream. That's new.
No, that's never happened before. Definitely not in
Okay,
WBBO.
the reason I repeat is sometimes like I think my internet hiccups and like I'll say something. I'll notice that everyone's quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking at the same time. So I'm like, oh, it's like everything's like coming down to commode at once or something.
I mean, that definitely does happen. You're not wrong. Sorry, I was just focused on drawing David Lynch. I'm not sure how well I'm capturing his look here, but, you know.
It's all right.
I'm not the best when it comes to lifelike portraits. I'm not very good at realism, I'll say that much.
That's fine.
I return.
Well, that's one thing I had to, like, kind of teach myself. It's like, it's okay if you can't draw things super realistic. It's like, you can draw things however you want. That's art.
Well, and a lot of people say realistic, but what they're looking for is a stylism that makes the art feel like it could happen in the real world. Actual photorealism it's an achievement in art. I personally wouldn't invest in photorealism because
oh no,
at that point, why not just have a camera, A, and B, are you actually expressing something through that? Because, like, for me, expression is king in art.
Yeah. And I will say this, the more that AI art has become a thing, the more I take comfort in my styling of how I draw things. Because I don't see anything that really looks like how I draw things.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Please don't use that as an excuse to feed my... Actually, if anyone did feed my artwork to an AI machine, I would be very upset.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Always.
My thrill of when I was in the art class and I tried to do things as realistic as possible, it was kind of it's the thrill of like portraying something as close to reality as you can, you know, and having it on canvas.
Oh no, I get that. You know, I'm not like anti-realism or anything. I'm just saying it's not something I personally like to draw. I'm very impressed by the times people make stuff look very realistic, and that doesn't necessarily even go for like actual like stuff. Like I've seen sci-fi art that is just amazing how lifelike it feels.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's okay. So I actually didn't do too bad. He is looking like David Lynch now. That's good. Well, maybe
always
that
good
part. Yeah.
It's also great how like a few strokes of lines can make your brain process the image to be like.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
Take on, you know.
I don't know if this is gonna sound. I don't know if this is gonna sound pretentious to say, but I think there's a magic to art and creating things, and it's stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if like, and it always comes down to aliens, but it'd be funny if like aliens come down and we're trying to show them art and they're like, what is this? It's just a bunch of lines on a piece of paper. It says, no, this is like my uncle or something like that. It says, no, this is like blotches of color on canvas.
I don't know why. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Andy. Go ahead.
Well, that's it. It's like they can't recognize. They don't have like the pattern recognition that we've evolved with or something like that, so they don't like see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't know why, but I just thought of like a lone guy holding up like that Garfield smoking a pipe comic, and all the aliens just cheering.
Yep.
Like they come here and they just imagine aliens coming here and they just like fall in love with Garfield.
Yeah, that's another thing that's always kind of a risk in
hates the Mondays.
A risk in interpreting art, because like if you're not invested in the context or the time period, a lot of people will fail to realize like, you know, for example, a good third of Shakespeare's plays weren't even meant to be highbrow. They were meant to be vulgar. But we think of Shakespeare as, you know, fucking Shakespeare.
If it was even just one guy, which I know that's a theory where it was multiple guys.
Yeah, that is definitely a theory, and I can see where some of the credence for it comes from. I more believe that it was probably that Shakespeare was a pen name.
Oh yeah, no, he was definitely like. I could definitely see that being a pen name.
Yeah.
So.
But there's a lot of the stuff that people cite for why like Shakespeare couldn't have been one person tends to get into some really fringe stuff. Don't get me wrong, I find it fascinating when people go
it's an
there.
interesting idea. I'm not saying I believe it or not. I just think it's like, that'd be fun if it was true.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, you triggered my historian sort of like, be careful. That's one of those things where people hear a theory and take it as gospel.
No, that's believe me, I can get that.
Yeah.
Golly.
Look at all the people that think the moon landing was fake.
Cartoony Boy's like, I'm repairing a 10+ year old 3D printer, and I'm like, 10 plus?
That is, wow. First of all, holy shit, I didn't realize 3D printing was that old a concept. Secondly, that's gonna be, I don't know how well that's even gonna work for you, bud. Like, I mean, if you want to repair it free, feel free. I'm not gonna tell you no, but it's just like, I just wonder if you'd be better off getting a new one, considering the advancements that are probably come in a decade's worth of time with that.
Although there is something I can say too for that of like sometimes having the classical equipment is classical, even if it would be easier to go the other way.
Oh no, that's fair. I mean, the Cintiq tablet I'm using is like 10 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Krispy.
Yeah.
Antique Roadshow. It's like, this is made by a 2005 3D printer from Alaska Bond, made with the filament of.
The day that I watch an Antiques Roadshow and they have like a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 on there, I'm just gonna be like, all right, I don't want to live anymore.
Oh, this is a piece from some asshole on the internet named Krispy Kreme. He was infested.
Okay, if I got an Antiques Roadshow, I'd be laughing because it's just like.
So Cartula Boy says, no, the 3D printer is ass, but he got it for free, so fuck it, we ball.
Oh yeah,
Night
it's
Owl,
free, fuck it, yeah.
Yeah, Night Owl in his proper old man voice says, Crispy, I worked with 3D printers that architecture schools were using with CAD systems in the 90s.
Huh.
Well, that's just me not being aware of how long 3D printing's been around. Because I remember only hearing about it like in the mid-2000s.
Well, it's also the difference between something being used in the industrial and high commercial sector before it ever makes it to the consumer level.
Yeah, like,
all right.
We had iPhone technology for a decade before we actually made iPhones. It just wasn't commercially viable, you know?
Yeah.
Look, I was just about to say, the joke is like me and Wacker are old. Like, I hold up my iPhone and I'm still like, this is like Star Trek shit right here to me. Because, like, we grew up with the teacher being like, you're not going to have a calculator on you when you're just walking around.
I laugh at that so much in retrospect, just thinking about how I got told that. Because I got told that as well in school. It was like, you're never going to have a calculator.
It'd be funny to kick down a teacher's door, just start shoving your phone in her face and be like, yeah! I
just like the idea of like her saying that and like a portal opens and your future self steps through, holds up the iPhone with a calculator open, gives the middle finger and goes back in the portal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
God. It's like that Robot Chicken sketch of dicks with time machines.
Now, if you...
Fuck you.
Yeah. Now, if you really want to, fuck with your students and get them to learn the math, without that excuse, say, like, now I know you can pull out your phone and do the math yourself, but when the nuclear apocalypse happens, you're gonna need to know how to do math. and every autist in the Legion would have learned math without a second thought.
I don't know, man. I would have probably gone Master Blaster route. Which one would I be? I'll never tell.
My education started when I left school.
The school of hard knocks.
Thank you, Mr. Clemens.
I thought that was Mark Twain.
Mark Twain's actual name was Samuel Clemens.
Oh.
Mark Twain. Mark Twain's
pants right here.
Yeah, Mark Twain's a writing name, like a author name.
Pen name.
Pen name. That's what it was looking for. Thank you. You're a smart man, Andy.
Are pen names like a superhero mask, to protect the ones they love?
Actually, honestly, it is. That's a lot of authors just don't want to
I want to have my coffee without being surrounded by you jackasses.
yeah, basically. There's that. There's also especially if somebody who is a major figure is going to have somebody underwrite a book for them. Most of them will be honest about the fact that no, somebody wrote this for me, but they still want the person to not be the center of attention. They want the attention to be on what the book is supposed to be about, and not not this secondary author figure. So then a lot of times they will use a pen name so that they don't take attention off of the.
Well, that makes sense.
So I just thought of something, and okay, a pen name is good to protect the author, but it's also in a way a good way of protecting the art from the author.
Well,
because
I think authors would be better in groups. I know there's a club of people that use pen names. It's called the Pen 15 Club, and
it'd be best if Jeffrey Jenkins took up a pen name for his art, because his art's pretty good, and everybody liked it until Jeffrey Jenkins started collecting Pogs, and now nobody likes his art simply because Jeffrey Jenkins collects Pogs. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing of you got to separate the art from the artist, and I know that's kind of a case by case thing, because I know there's people that don't listen to Michael Jackson anymore.
Yeah, you're supposed to have five. You're supposed to have 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, Krispy. Have you done that?
Yeah.
No, fuck you.
The food pyramid was a mistake.
Now, if I smoke the vegetables, does that?
Also, daily update on the status of the Roman Empire. Still gone, my dudes.
Shit.
Krispy, is there a potato-flavored vape pen?
I don't know if I've ever seen a potato-flavored one. I can't imagine that would taste great.
What about eggplant or squash?
I don't think there's really a market for those, surprisingly. It's more of the sweet flavors I've seen.
Fuck you, don't tell me what to do.
And
I mean, if you want to make one, go ahead. I just don't know how successful it's going to be. Does David Lynch have blue eyes? I think he does, yeah.
Yeah, and Mr. No Talk brings up the concept of death of the author, which is some of what we're talking about here.
A little bit, yeah.
Not that you kill the author or anything, but that the author, once they publish their work, removes themselves from the equation.
Well, also, a concept of protecting the author from the art, when you don't necessarily know who the author is
well,
sometimes artists go crazy because of their art and their expectations. It's
yeah,
if you can just walk away and disseminate yourself from it, it's oh man, I'm glad nobody knows that I wrote this great masterpiece right now, and I'm glad that I'm not losing my mind because of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I think yeah.
Other times you get way up your own ass about things, and then you go on Twitter saying why wizards don't poop.
I was about to say, imagine some of your favorite IPs, and then think of the artist that created it, and just think, are they insane now?
In that case, absolutely.
Yeah.
George Lucas. I mean, I don't know what he's up to these days. I'm not going to say one way or the other.
Well, and, at some point the author wants to be able to step away from their art as well, because, you don't want...
Part of me resents him for, selling Star Wars for $4 billion, but,
Part of you gets it.
Part of me gets it, but at the same time, it's Disney, which, honestly, that's a whole other conversation that we don't need to get into. Let's see how good I
Yes.
do with the shading here.
So, I am currently engaged in what is probably one of the hardest things for me, which is drawing a spaceship.
Oh, really? That's the hardest thing for you.
I'm so used to drawing human bodies and, like, their proportions, but spaceships are, per se, bigger, and you have to do a lot more, like, depth of field type of work. When
Yes,
drawing.
and yes.
So it's the depth of field that, it's like making sure my perspective lines are at least passable.
Yeah. No, I get you. I don't want to say I'm great at drawing spaceships, but I can draw them pretty good. So, I just think that's interesting. I mean, I get it if you're not great at it, because it can get complicated. It's like I like drawing mechs. I love drawing mechs, but good God, BattleTech has a lot of unnecessary detail at points.
Yep. I forget what the word for that is, but all the little wiry bits.
Greebling.
Greebling, yes.
You're thinking of
Lot of
Greebling.
Greebling.
Crispy.
Yeah. Yes.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Mecha Lynch.
That's
Actually,
probably
David
got to be
Lynch
for
Mecha
another
will-
stream, because we're getting kind of late here in time, but
Yeah, we're on our last 20 minutes here.
I have returned, and I have brought with you technology.
why does he sound like a Kennedy?
Kennedy
I
and
have
Lynch are
returned.
one. We are the clinch.
And now
We're
your
the-
butt cheeks
we're
will
the-
clench.
Oh God, if the Borg was based off of David Lynch's work, it'd be a lot more surreal. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, if you see the very early Borg stuff, it was fairly Lynchian. Like, not completely, but the later Borg stuff got, like, very...
Yeah.
Giger-esque.
a little bit Giger-esque.
Well, when it comes to like Giger and cybernetics, I think that's more of like, well, I don't know if the Strog would be a good fit for that, but that's kind of what I think of from Quake.
Yeah.
Which I know there's people that kind of don't like the later Quake games, but I think the Strog are kind of fun.
Lord Grimos asks, Gentlemen, Anthill or Hive?
I would want to say Anthill.
And Moist But Crunchy says something that I can only hear in a song from a 90s show, which is H.R. Giger Borgs.
You know, it's funny. I was listening to a story today involving H.R. Giger, but it was a lawsuit because the Dead Kennedys decided to use one of his paintings in one of their albums, Frankenchrist. The title of the painting is called Penis Landscape. I'm not going to tell you to Google that, but you can probably guess what the imagery probably looks like. And they had reasons for using that, but it kind of caused them to have to go to court with an obscenity trial. Which they ended up winning. The Dead Kennedys won that, but, you know.
That do be how it do sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, with ships... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say this is just looking pretty good.
Yeah, with ships for me, it's the, like... You can't just repeat an angle in two places because the object itself in reality would be equilateral, because one part of that object is further away from you than the other, so you can't portray it equilaterally.
Yeah. I don't want to say I have, like, any specific technique that allows me to do it better. I think it's just, like, autism brand.
Yeah, you get a sort of a feel for it with time.
You really do, honestly, because it's just like at a certain point you're just like, okay, that should go like that. It really does take an eye, you know?
Yeah.
And I definitely wasn't always good at drawing stuff like I am now, but maybe one of these days I'll find some old sketches and I'll post them.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. It's just one of those things that as I'm doing it, I'm like, you used to be really good at this part, Storm. What's wrong?
Oh, yes, I know that feeling very well. Very, very well.
Yes.
Damn it! I just reset the color because I dropped tool.
Lol. Take that.
Actually, you know what? Let me see here. What fonts do I have to play with? Because I can actually use fonts in this.
Oh, Silicon Soul brings up, Mike from Penny Arcade has written about how he can't stand to look at old strips because of how much he's learned since then.
Oh man, I can believe that. I can absolutely believe that.
Voiced by Crunchy says, make 1,000 shitty drawing to unlock the gotcha pull that is the one good drawing.
Why do you think I do these streams? I'm not sure what like when I think of a font what best suits David Lynch, but yeah, let's try brush script.
I mean, you could always use one of the quotes from Dune, like, one cannot act against the hand of God. Or you could go with a thought from Twin Peaks, which would be something like, God, this is the best damn pie I've ever had.
See, I was thinking of There's a Fish in the Percolator, but oh, that doesn't look bad here.
Yep.
Also, this is a little bit of my graphic design slide showing now, because I did a lot of typography stuff in school.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna like flip the David underneath, so it's like a mirrored, like David.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh yeah.
I probably could do that, honestly. But I'd have to play around with that for a bit, and we're kind of strapped for time as is.
On the next episode of highly dramatic action TV series on your favorite network, this episode changes everything.
Don't make me draw Dragon Ball Z stuff next time.
I mean, do threaten me with a good time.
Thing is, I'm not like super into Dragon Ball Z. Is the only thing here. I need to shrink this a bit. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. It's one of those things. There's a lot of programs that have similar functions, but the way that they operate is weird. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, did they say how he died? Did he just pass away?
Emphysema. Unfortunately, I think it was the smokes that killed him. Which I think he was a 2-pack a day man. So I'm not about to judge though. I mean, I vape. I used to smoke cigarettes myself. I never got to 2 packs a day, but I mean, I can get why he would smoke. And not about to speak ill of the dead.
Oh yeah.
It's sad that he's gone regardless. It could have been anything, But, at the same time, I'd like to remember him for the stuff that he made and the way that he looked at the world and kind of his message,
Well, if you think about it, he's now with the Immortals.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a nice little piece. I'm actually kind of made something sentimental today. It's cute. Or, it's nice. Actually kind of want to frame this somewhere. I want to put a quote in here too. I just need to look through and see what good stuff he has,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could start something else, but it is getting close to the end here, so we could call it early if you guys want.
Yeah.
I think this is probably a good spot to end it, honestly, because I'm not sure what else I'd be drawing otherwise. Running out of steam as it is, so... Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope everyone enjoyed stream, had a good time.
Yep.
He does kind of look like the cigarette smoking man from X-Files UNC, alright.
Yep.
Well, it's gonna be in my head.
Y'all. Yeah, well, all y'all, thank you for coming. Stay safe and be good to each other.
Be excellent to each other. Be kind.
And drink water.
Yes. And Ovaltine.